Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 5th meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission. Will the staff secretary please call roll?
Commissioner Bridge,
Here.
Commissioner Esparza,
Here.
Commissioner Short,
Here.
Commissioner Suchek, Commissioner Chair Pollock Cushing,
Here.
Commissioner Alexander,
Here.
Commissioner Borowiak,
Here.
Commissioner Abu Marki.
Commissioner Short, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. Place your hand over your heart and begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We will now open up the public comment period. Will the secretary read the procedures for addressing the commission tonight?
Speakers have 3 minutes under public comment to speak on issues that are not listed on the agenda and are within the city's jurisdiction. The Brown Act does not permit any action or discussion on items not listed on the agenda.
Okay. Any public comment? Okay, seeing no one else wishes to address the commission tonight, we'll close public comment. And next on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes from the March 6th Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Are there any comments, corrections? Motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, first up, we have item 6.1, recreation programming given by Kelsey Myers, Haley Harlan, and Megan Eaton.
Sorry to adjust this. My name is Haley Harlan, and this is Kelsey Myers and Megan Eaton. Thank you for having us today. So we are excited to be talking about our current program offerings and some exciting things to look forward to. So a couple of our recreation program goals. One of the goals of our recreation program team is just to have an introduction to recreation. It's not competitive, it's to just introduce kids to art and sports and things like that to get them some exposure. Secondly, we have quality instruction and experiences, maximize use of facilities, fields, and parks, and financial sustainability. One of the things we offer are specialty camps and classes. The specialty camps and classes are 15-hour camps, and they're more based on a niche basis. Kids can sign up for their specific needs, and some of the themed camps include dinosaur, safari season, Harry Potter, messy masterpieces, and To Infinity and Beyond. And kids can sign up based on their needs at the time or something that they're super interested in. Second, we have cooking. Cooking has had a popularity increase. We offer hands-on cooking step-by-step classes to our youth, and it has gained in popularity. We also offer summer camps for them as well. Some of the items they cook include snacks, desserts, lunches, and breakfasts. Performing arts. We offer Pitch Perfect, which is ages 6 to 16. And it's week-long beginner musical camp ending with a performance for families and friends. So the kids get to do their practices and then invite friends and family to come. We also have Big Stars, which is ages 8 to 18. It's a 3-week musical camp where they learn more advanced skills like vocal techniques and dance choreography. And they also end with a performance for friends and families. And then we have STEAM. So STEAM is also gaining popularity. We have Lego STEAM classes for ages ranging from 5 to 14. We also have art classes. We've also done a leprechaun trap building class, which has gained popularity as well. And lastly, we have multimedia classes where youth learn how to make movies.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm going to talk about our day camps. So we have 4 day camps. One is Camp Play at Heritage Oaks, which is for ages 4 to 6. We have our Teen Scene program at Diamond Creek this year, which is for ages 11 to 14. And we have our Sparks camp at Caseburg Park. That one's for ages 6 to 12. And then we have Camp Roseville for ages 6 to 12 as well at Mahaney Fitness Center. So each site has activities such as crafts, sports, group activities, guest visitors, and other things like that. They go on field trips to places like Sunsplash and AMF Bowling, and to the pool or park for the water feature each week. So in the past, we've had our registration open online on the same day as our magazine going out to the public. And so we recently changed that so that our guide goes out online a few days early so that customers can view all of our activities prior to registering for the ones that they want. This allows for faster and more efficient registration. Our summer camps filled up really quickly this year, so they filled up within an hour, with Camp Roseville being the one that filled up within the hour, but the other ones are getting full too. 91% of our registration was online for our day camps, and 87% was online for specialty camps. So getting that magazine out early really helps. And then 21 out of our 31 day camps are full, with 508 people on the wait lists. So we do love to see our camps filling so quickly with those large wait lists, but we can't really we don't have the space or the staffing to add additional camps to take care of those wait lists. So like everywhere else, we're struggling to find the amount of staff necessary to run those additional camps and that facility space. So we want to provide exceptional experiences, but with the inflation and cost of supplies and working with outside sources, everything's gone up. So we are being stretched with our budgets to cover all of those programs as it is. So adding more would create another challenge.
Hello, everyone. I'm Megan. I'm going to talk a little bit about our leadership development program. The purpose of this program is to give teens in our community the opportunity to gain valuable job experience in the field of park recreation and libraries. They get an opportunity to mentor youth and build on those leadership skills that they can use in the future for jobs or school or college. This is our second summer of offering this program. The process is essentially like they would be interviewing for a job. So they apply, they send in a letter of recommendation, they go through an interview process. If they make it through the interview process, they go through 12 hours of training, and then they get 50 hours minimum of job experience training in our programs. The goals for this is to hopefully help us with our staffing in the future. From last summer's LDPs, we were able to bring on 3 this summer. Some of our successes, we've created some new efficiencies. We discussed Camp Play earlier. We've moved locations for Camp Play to a 2-room facility to our 3-room facility at Heritage Oak Adventure Club. So we've able to double those numbers and include more participants. Our Tiny Tot sports program, we've added an additional aid to be able to increase the participant registration for those programs. PCOE, we partnership with them, which is Placer County Office of Education. Over the last year, we've been partnering with them to create more opportunities for adaptive and inclusive programs and events. Some of the events include Sensory Santa, Bunnies and Baskets, and coming up in the fall, we'll have a Fall Harvest Festival. These events and activities will offer calm settings with less stimulation so participants can move through these activities at their own pace, and they're not as crowded, so they're a little less stimulating. PCOE has also lent assistance with training and collaboration on our staffing and training assistance with some of our staff on kiddos who need a little extra assistance in our programs. As far as multi-generational programs, we offer Family Glow Yoga, which is essentially what it sounds like. It gives families an opportunity to come out and do yoga together in glow and dark form. We also offer multi-generational cooking classes, which is called Cook Together. So grandparents or parents can come with their kiddos and they can learn a recipe, cook together, and take that home and essentially recreate that at home. Lastly, do we have any questions?
So you had 3 of the leadership come back. Out of how many was that?
So last year we had 20 participants make it through the program, and we had, I think, 6 participants apply this summer for our programs, and 3 of them made it through.
Okay.
So, and to clarify, the staffing issue is with those temporary summer staffs that man the program, not staffing generally in the department. Is that accurate? And so you'd mentioned kind of those 3 challenges being staffing, facilities, and just rising costs. Is there one that's kind of more prevalent than the others, or put differently, if there's one that you could magically solve, maybe the other 2 you'd be able to fix, or are they all pretty equal challenges?
I think staffing and the facilities are probably the biggest, with staffing being the number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, I just want to, first of all, I just want to make a comment. My kids, they played Tiny Tot sports. They're in camps, flag football. Got me to coach some flag football, swim lessons. One of my son became a lifeguard. They all were in a couple. One of my daughters was worked for the summer program. She couldn't work this year because she has knee surgery. But I guess the question is there a solution to the personnel issue? Because it seems like, from what I saw, is we had a wait list, but that wait list is a result of we don't have enough personnel to handle them. Is that correct?
Yes, so we have been attending more job fairs recently, and so I think that's really going to help, and we've kind of revamped our hiring system in general. So next year, we're hoping that going to those job fairs and extending the time that we have to accept applicants will help, because before we were accepting applicants and we would close very early because of how long our hiring process takes. And so for teens and young people, that's hard for them because it's like a 3 or 4 month wait for them to start work. So next year, we're hoping that it will be more like a month, and that should hopefully help.
Do we reach out to local high schools?
We do, and elementary schools, and the local colleges.
Okay. All right, I would just suggest that, we get a plan for next year. I'm pleased to see that the numbers are up, particularly following COVID. I mean, when I saw those COVID numbers, I was actually saddened. But anyway, just keep up the good work, and we'll persevere, I suppose.
Thank you.
What is the age that they have to be, or is there an age to work for the camps?
We have a training position, which is 14 years old, and then to become a staff member that's not in the training position, it would be 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ditto what he said. My kids we did every summer, we would go to the parks and they would have the crafts and we did the swim lessons and all the rec programs. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Okay, any other comments from the commission?
I'll ask a follow-up question. Is the staffing challenge something that you've always had in the summer, or is it new after COVID, or?
It's new after COVID, yeah. We used to fill our applications where it would cap at about, I think, 200 or so, and now we're struggling. I think we had maybe 50 in the first round, and then we reopened it and had 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for pulling together as well as you are. My son is looking forward to Mad Science Camp next week, so.
Are the outreach efforts the same now as they were previously?
They've increased tremendously, yeah, and we continue to increase and reach new contacts at different schools and locations, and we have new groups put together, committees that are helping with this as well.
Okay. Okay, opening this up for public comment now. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment? If so, just step up to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Lauren Meeks Harris. I live in the central part of Roseville, and I am particularly, I'm curious, what is the number one skill set just for those particular jobs for the summer camps that you're looking for? Because some applicants, and just because of my previous background, in another lifetime, I actually used to do after-school programs for a different school district, and it always seems like something was missing, though I know right now you guys are playing catch-up and trying to attract. But I mean, just so we could start, or not, well, the city of Roseville can start just gearing up now and start saying, okay, this is like, you should already come with a CPR certification or something of that nature.
We provide all of the training necessary for all of the different positions, but I think the biggest thing is you need to enjoy working with the public and with kids, and be enthusiastic during our interview process, because we can teach you the skills and we provide CPR training, but what we're really looking for is somebody who's excited to be here and is going to provide an exceptional experience for those kids in our programs.
And as a follow-up question, so funding isn't capping you guys, meaning to hire new people for the summer. It was a lack of applicants, if I understood you correct.
Yes.
Anybody else? Okay. I just have one question. Is there a way for students to not get paid through the program, but potentially get hours for community service projects or high school graduation, things like that?
So the leadership development program is actually that opportunity. It's a non-paid opportunity. They actually pay a registration fee to us for the training and the job experience hours that they go through, as well as a T-shirt, name tag, and the overall experience. So at the end of it, they get a certificate of completion stating how many hours they did participate, and then I also offer to write them letters of recommendation for the future.
Okay, I was just thinking maybe that would be another pool of, way to get people, interested so that they can check off that box. But, okay, if that's all, we will, sure.
No, just curious because of, the population is changing here in Roseville, as you've probably seen in the last census. And so my question is, they must be, because the way how the city is overlapping with the unincorporated areas, do they need to be a city of Roseville resident versus, let's say you happen to live in Dry Creek. I live in the city of Roseville, but I'm asking this because I know some young people who were thinking, well, I can't apply because, okay, I live on the unincorporated side of the city. So is this a only residents of Roseville, or is it open up to all of Placer County, or can neighboring counties, let's say you go to Antelope High and you happen to be like right across the street from the county line, how central do you need to be in that summer camps program?
You don't. We have staff that live in Sacramento, and we even have staff that live out in San Diego that come home for the summer, so it can be anywhere.
Okay. Well, thank you all. That was a information only item. So and I'm going to close public comment and move on to item 6.2, recreation facilities. John McElroy, Jake Castle, and Will Neville. Sorry if I botched that one. This is also information only.
Thank you, Commissioners, for having us here tonight. My name is Will Neville, and I'm a Recreation and Library Supervisor that oversees the recreation facilities we are going to be speaking to you about tonight. With me tonight is...
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Jake Hassel, and I oversee the day-to-day operations of the Mahaney Fitness Center, which is formerly the Roseville Sports Center.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is John McElroy. I oversee the day-to-day operations of the Mighty Community Center.
We'd like to begin by giving you an overview of the two recreation facilities that we offer in the city of Roseville.
All right, the first facility is the Mahaney Fitness Center, and this facility is a memberships, fitness program, events, and rental-based facility offering a variety of spaces for all sorts of programs, events, and classes. We hold drop-in basketball, volleyball, pickleball, and soccer. Drop-ins take place during the weekday facility hours, and during summer, day camps take place in our facility gymnasium as well. During the work week and into the nights and weekends, a variety of businesses and internal city programs and City of Roseville departments rent space to host workshops, seminars, and trainings. Other events hosted include baby showers, graduations, celebrations of life, school dances, crab feeds, quilt shows, and job fairs. Fitness classes take place on Monday through Sunday. We currently offer over 50 classes at the Mahaney Fitness Center and partner with the City of Roseville's Police Department, offering fitness classes and personal trainings at their facility as well. Mahaney Fitness Center's annual projected revenue for fiscal year 24 is $563,200.
The Mighty Community Center is primarily a rental-based facility offering a variety of spaces. During the business work week, the facility hosts the 50 and Better program, better known as the FAB program. Programming for this group includes games such as bingo, bridge, and mahjong, clubs like Friday Flicks and Roseville Genealogy Society, and support groups including the Parkinson's Support Group, Looking Forward, which is a low vision and blind group, and widowed persons. Also during the business work week and into the nights, weekends, and a variety of businesses rent spaces to host workshops, seminars, and trainings. Other events hosted include celebration of life, baby showers, graduations, weddings, and wedding receptions. The annual projected revenue in this facility in fiscal year 24 is $244,000.
All right, a few exceptional experiences and benefits we offer at the Mahaney Fitness Center is new fitness equipment, which includes 20 new spin bikes, free weights, and strength equipment, flexible hours, and top-notch fitness instructors who have nationally accredited fitness certifications, specialized degrees in their area of teaching expertise, and they also take continuing educational classes to keep their certifications current, and that keeps us on top of the current fitness trends and exercise science. The Mahaney Fitness Center facility staff offer exceptional experience. All staff we have are well-trained and available to address any requests in a timely manner. Staff that work the front desk know members' names and also greet everyone who enters our facilities with a smile.
In March of this year, we conducted a benchmarking study comparing rental fees to our regional neighbors, including Folsom, West Sacramento, Rockland, and Lincoln, to name a few. We found our department rental fees are competitive with our neighbors, landing near the middle of the market. The Mighty Community Center offers flexible hours, competitive rental fees, and exceptional customer service. Staff are well-trained and readily available to address your questions, concerns, and requests promptly. Whether you need assistance with the rental process, have questions about the facility, or require any help during your tenancy, staff are ready to assist you.
All right, a few successes for the Mahaney Fitness Center. Memberships at the Mahaney Fitness Center are at an all-time high. In April of 2019, pre-COVID, we were totaling 583 active memberships. In April of 2023, we totaled 959 active memberships. Just this past month, in May, we totaled 996 active memberships, 4 memberships away from having 1,000 active memberships, which has yet to be reached in the 23 years that this facility is operational. Rental revenue has increased significantly over the past year as well. Rental revenue as of April 2022 totaled $167,000, and rental revenue as of April 2023 has totaled $196,000, totaling almost $40,000 of increased rental revenue.
Over the past year, the Mighty Community Center renewed its partnership with Placer County District Attorney's Office to host the PROTECT event. PROTECT is an acronym for Providing Resources and Outreach to Elderly Citizens Together. Last year's regional event served over 500 seniors. Salvation Army handed out 350 meals. AARP shred trucks saw over 150 vehicles, and 95 seniors received legal or tech-related assistance. This year's event is Thursday, August 10th 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. After 4 years hiatus, the community center hosted the return of the Maidu Holiday Craft Fair. 105 craft vendors set up booths and thousands came out to the event to find that special something. This year's craft fair is Saturday, November 4th, 9 to 3 p.m. In addition to that, rental revenue is up and back to pre-pandemic use. Ending fiscal year 19, rental revenue landed at $174,000. Through this current fiscal year 23, rental revenue has reached $227,000, and we are projecting to end the fiscal year around $250,000. This is just over a 40% increase in revenue from 4 years ago.
With both facilities, we have also seen success with recruiting and hiring high-quality staff. In the past year, we have brought on 16 new part-time customer service specialist staff. This hiring allows us to better serve the community as we've seen an increase in the use of our facilities. To also help with the increased use, we've streamlined processes and experiences to be more efficient and consistent. An example of this was the implementation of one facility rental application. If we offer a service during a rental at one facility, we will offer it at the other. And while we love to celebrate our successes, we also see several challenges ahead of us. Increased usage through memberships and rentals also means we have more memberships sold, more rentals booked, more front desk inquiries, more membership and rental questions, and more phone calls. To put it plainly, the facilities are just busier. As an example, we saw over 7,000 more guests come through the doors of the Mahaney Fitness Center in April of this year versus April of 2019, pre-COVID. Additionally, our facilities are aging. The Mahaney Fitness Center opened for business in the year 2000, and the Maidu Community Center opened in 1990. This means that we have more and more minor repairs and replacements needed for things like furniture, equipment, and infrastructure. For example, our fitness equipment has begun to show its age due to wear and tear and having been in service for so long. On top of this, space is at a premium. With how long the facilities have been operating and the continued increase in our service levels, we have accumulated a lot of supplies and equipment. Our facilities are used for recreation programs, classes, rentals, and more. Each of those requires supplies and equipment to be stored on site. Another challenge we face comes from outside the facilities. The private sector is beginning to provide more competing facilities, such as a new 24-hour fitness opening 2 miles away from the Mahaney Fitness Center, and at the grounds, which can host large events and offers rental spaces for the community. These competitors offer brand new equipment, technology, and features that we don't offer. But we plan to meet these challenges and would like to share with you all some of the exciting things we have coming soon. We are set to invest in some major facility upgrades at both sites this year. New audio and visual equipment, along with other improvements in our facilities, will enhance convenience and productivity for anyone using our spaces. We are bringing in new sound systems and display screens, as well as renovating several rooms to increase their usability. Additionally, more new fitness equipment is on its way into our fitness room, such as the squat rack, utility benches that can be adjusted to use for several different exercises, a new rowing machine, and a new skier machine that will allow for upright rowing. We hope these new additions to the Mahaney Fitness Center will elevate the workouts of our members. Something we're also excited about is the return of our Ultimate Dodgeball Tournament. Last year's inaugural tournament saw 10 teams competing and was a big success. This year, we plan to expand it to 12 teams, and they will compete in August. This tournament, it brings in an audience that is different from our normal clientele, and we hope they will see the benefits of our facility and return for other programs and maybe even sign up for a membership. Also, we plan to begin offering 50 and Better or Fab Club programming out in the west side of town at the Mahaney Fitness Center. A Fab lounge spot in the morning to provide a meetup spot for socialization opportunities is coming this year, and we hope to offer more in the years to come. And finally, we're also excited to host even more events at our facilities. We have events such as Breakfast with the Bunny, Grinchmas, the Holiday Craft Fair, Sensory Santa, Milk and Cookies with Santa, and much more making use of our spaces. With all this happening at our facilities, we are very excited to continue to serve the Roseville community and look forward to seeing them have an exceptional experience. So at this time, are there any questions that we can answer?
I got a question. You mentioned the budgets for each of those for Mahaney and also for Maidu. Does that include just both of those both of those facilities sit on large properties? So I'm wondering if the budget pertains to just the facility, like the buildings itself, or is it also like the trails and stuff around each of those facilities?
I can go ahead and speak to Mahaney Fitness Center. That encompasses the all-weather field that's right on Wood Creek Oaks and Pleasant Grove as well. And then half of the Riley Library, the 2 meeting rooms in there. So Riley Meeting Room 1 and Meeting Room 2 are also encompassed in our budget.
And for the community center, it's the covered soccer arena and the Mighty Community Center that's included.
Okay. Another question I was going to ask was the size of the membership and the usage of rentals has gone up quite a bit, but has the cost of membership and the cost of renting those spaces, have those remained the same as prior to 2020, or is it gone up as well?
So for the memberships at the Mahaney Fitness Center, the memberships have gone up. However, we have offered multiple opportunities to get a membership, like student fitness passes, active aging passes. So whereas the individual membership has gone up, we have offered a variety of memberships that might be a little bit cheaper than the individual membership as well, to try to pertain to all demographics. And then as far as rentals go, kind of like what John talked about, we surveyed a few of our neighboring entities as far as rentals go, and we are around that midpoint. We plan to increase both memberships and rentals here in the near future.
Do you have any idea as far as like the rental days or hours or something, if that's fairly consistent with the past, and that increase is due to the increased fees, or is it
usage?
Or so is it increased usage, or is it kind of increased fees that are hitting your revenue?
Right now, it's increased usage. Fees have not increased in quite some time. It's one of the reasons why we did the benchmarking study to see where we're landing. At the Mighty Community Center, for example, you can rent anywhere from about 7 different rooms, and that usage has increased significantly. Where pre-pandemic or even during pandemic, towards the end of it, we might see 1 or 2 rentals in the building. Now we're seeing 6, 7, 8, depending on the weekend.
And are we getting good feedback on the space, or when you're looking at the competition, do the facilities that we have kind of meet a lower cost need for them versus maybe they don't want all the bells and whistles of the new places? So do you get that type of feedback, or?
We offer feedback. At the end of a rental, we'll send a form out just to seek some of that. We see great opportunity in improving our facilities to get them as modern as possible, and so we look forward to future improvements. I don't know that it necessarily takes away from that rental, but certainly we just want to improve those experiences as much as possible.
And then, lastly, the comment about your staff. Every interaction I've ever had with the staff at primarily Mahaney they've been extremely helpful. So, that's true. At least my experience is the excellent customer service there. So, great job there.
Neither of the recreation facilities offer childcare, right? If like a mom wants to go in, work out for an hour, there's nowhere to drop the kids off in these facilities, right?
This is correct. However, we do have Adventure Club that does preschool at our facilities. That is the option that we guide them to if they do need that type of childcare. But as far as part of the membership, part of the facility itself, we do not offer childcare.
Do you think that's something that might boost membership and do good things because now you're opening it up to a major population of people, especially in West Roseville, is mostly moms who are home with their kids during the day and would probably love to go work out and have their child be occupied at the same time, which is probably getting the other gyms some business that can provide that.
Yeah, we entertain that option. It just comes with logistics that we would work through. We did offer it in the past, discontinued it, but that is always something that we're juggling around as a team for facilities.
Okay. And then my other question was, what the outdoor facility at Maidu, are people using that, or did that not really pan out as expected with, I mean, because we're getting into the summer heat now, I'm sure. So I'm seeing the smiles of like.
The outdoor
okay.
facilities, so at the Maidu Sports Courts, the soccer arena, the covered arena is used year-round. It's primarily peak season, of course, is in the rainy months, the winter and fall and
I
whatnot.
was talking about the.
Fitness.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
No, sorry. So people are out there using the fitness course. We're looking into opportunities to program out there as well. It hasn't panned out just yet, but it is something that is in the works.
Anybody else have
Yeah.
comments?
It sounds like there's some capacity limitations, and have we got those identified? The capacity limitations?
Capacity for memberships, for rentals, or for
For the
storage?
whole thing, the whole 9 yards. I mean, we got a lot of things going on, and I appreciate the presentation, but it sounds like that we might have some capacity limitations in some of those.
Yes, I can speak to that. So we do have identified different storage areas, and we are currently identifying where we can kind of create efficiencies in some of the supplies and materials that are being stored. Is there possibilities that we can move things from one facility to another? That makes sense. So we are in the process of identifying those spaces and seeing if there's any opportunities to create more space or to reduce the amount of supplies and materials that we have stored. And then that also extends to our programs as well, where we are looking to see if there's any opportunities to maybe create some more efficiencies by moving programs to a different location. So.
Because in the previous item, we identified some personnel limitations. Do you have personnel limitations as well?
Not at this time. We, like I said, brought on 16 new staff in the last year, which has allowed us to greatly increase the amount of staff we have available to answer questions and kind of keep up with the increase in the usage. So at this time, we are not seeing a heavy impact because of a lack of staff. So we are currently in a comfortable position.
And the last comment I have is I hear you guys have a lot of things going, and I appreciate that. The one thing I would encourage you all to do is maybe create a comprehensive plan. So, we have everything all tied down, and then you could look at the whole thing comprehensively and see if there's any capacity over here that you might use over here. Just a suggestion, just think about it.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Do anybody for public comment? Feel free to step up to the podium. Okay. Closing public comment.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Just one thing that you mentioned in your presentation as being one of your challenges is, more and more competitors. I'd encourage you as a department not to think of those private enterprises that are opening as being competitors. I think you are in kind of filling two different lanes. I think they're partners in what you're trying to accomplish and allowing there to be opportunity for the citizens of Roseville to be healthy. And I think that what you're offering as being very high quality public amenities is an important part of that. So just a mindset thing that I'd encourage you to work well with them to see them as helping in the mission that you're trying to accomplish. Sort of in that same vein, I'm happy to hear that you did the study on kind of where the fees and memberships are locally, and that we're kind of in the middle of the pack, which is a good place to be. So that was good to hear too. But I would point out that, again, as a public entity, I hope that that's not the goal that you're shooting for, that I would encourage your goal to be to keep your prices as low as possible so that you will have access, people can access your facilities, while, of course, again, still maintaining that high level of service that you do and have for, decades now. So thank you very much for the presentation, but I wanted to make sure that, that was put out there.
Thank you.
Okay. If nobody else has any comments, questions, then we will move on to item number 6.3. And thank you, guys. Jill Geller, Parks and Recs Libraries Budget.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am Jill Geller, your Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Director, and you may be aware that last week we had a budget hearing where we presented the FY24 budget to the City Council, and we knew that you would be interested in receiving that same information. So tonight I'll be providing a brief budget presentation to you. So as you're aware, the Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Department oversees all of the city's parks and open space, our recreation programs and facilities, our libraries, and museum. We currently manage 84 developed parks. 3 of those haven't been dedicated yet, and you will be receiving those invitations in the coming months, and nearly 4,000 acres of open space. Additionally, we maintain more than 300 acres of streetscapes, 43 acres of school properties, and 40 miles of multi-use trails. We also manage and maintain more than 30 facilities. You heard about a couple of them tonight. We've got a lot more out there, but these facilities do include our 3 libraries, our 3 swimming pools, 2 golf courses, the Mahaney Fitness Center and Maidu Community Center, the museum and historic site, and with the opening of 2 new schools this fall, we will have 21 adventure clubs. So quite a bit falls under our department's purview. So this slide shows you that PRL's proposed general fund operating budget for FY24 is $47.4 million. This consists of the different areas you see on this pie chart, with the largest percentage being parks and open space at 36%. PRL's total general fund operating budget is $35 million. And I say that because you can see that there are other funds, such as the Youth Development Fund and the Golf Course Fund in this pie chart, that make up the remainder. So PRL's total operating budget is $47.4 million, but only $35 million of that is general fund. And our general fund operating budget makes up 16% of the city's overall general fund budget. Additionally, 29% of our expenses are offset by revenues. So this slide shows our recommended new positions for FY24. First on the list is the Parks Manager. You might be surprised to hear that the Parks Division, our department's largest division, employing 60 full-time staff and 30 part-time staff, and with a budget in excess of $20 million, has not had a manager over this division for many years. So the addition of this Parks Manager position, especially with our continued growth, will absolutely increase our efficiencies and provide more effective leadership over this huge division. And because this position will help oversee maintenance activities in the city's CFDs, part of this position's funding will come from CFD administration fees, so that alleviates some of that burden on the general fund as well. The management analyst position is much needed within our PRL administration division. This person will fill gaps and areas of improvements that we learned through our strategic master plan. Our department's funding is very complex as we monitor and forecast our revenues and expenses, not only in the general fund, but in 38 CFDs and LLDs, in Youth Development's Enterprise Fund, the Golf Fund, and many other funds. As you can imagine, the financial support for park development alone is significant, and this position will assist in that area as well. We heard through the strategic master planning process a large desire for more cultural arts opportunities in the city, and a cultural arts supervisor will help us meet that need. Responsibilities for this position will include oversight of the Maidu Museum and Historic Site, and we all know what a valuable asset that is to this community. Additionally, this supervisor will work closely with Blue Line Arts, Roseville Historical Society, and other arts and cultural providers to provide a more comprehensive citywide effort in the arts. The supervisor will participate in a visioning plan for the Fitment House to help expedite its opening, and will develop programming to generate revenue at that site. And I hope you agree that public art is important and that it helps form a community's identity. This position will coordinate the creation and placement of more public art in Roseville. And lastly, a signature arts and culture event would be another feather in Roseville's cap. So this position could work with that as well. And the program revenues coming from all of those things I mentioned will assist in funding this position. Let's go first with the parks maintenance workers. The safety of our parks is priority one, and their cleanliness and appearance is the first thing that our residents see. So we've historically employed part-time staff to porter our parks, which is the daily cleaning and maintenance. But as you've heard time and again, it's becoming increasingly difficult for us to hire and retain part-time staff. When we do find our part-time staff, our turnover rate is high, and so it's just a vicious circle. So we're reducing our temporary salaries in the park side to fund these 3 full-time park maintenance workers who will provide consistency and efficiencies in keeping our parks safe, clean, and green. And the same for our natural resource workers. We've got 3 new workers that will help maintain the additional open space acres and additional trail miles that we acquire each year, as well as assist in our efforts to control encroachments, invasive species, homeless encampments, and to maintain our creeks. Again, we're reducing temporary salaries to fund these 3 full-time positions and know that we'll see much greater efficiency with full-time staff in these roles. We know that these positions will advance the council's goals to maintain a safe and healthy community, remain fiscally responsible, invest in well-planned infrastructure and growth, and deliver exceptional city services. And speaking of the council's goals, in front of you, yep, this is it. You have a book highlighting the City of Roseville strategic plan for the years 21 through 24. This was updated after the council's annual priorities workshop in February, so you can see the little updated February 23 under there. Each year, the council revisits their overarching goals and objectives, and PRL works to ensure that our budget additions and initiatives support the council's goals. So these next 2 slides will highlight the items and the projects that we've added to our budget for fiscal year 24 and how they align with the council's goals. First of all, to maintain a safe and healthy community, we're including funds for downtown library security for our increased open hours, and also a mobile security camera that we can place at park construction sites or other areas of concern to help identify vandalism and those type of activities. Our budget also includes funding for vandalism repair and graffiti abatement to help ensure the safety of our visitors. To deliver exceptional services, we've included funding to add to our library collection. This was a recommendation from our residents during the strategic master planning process. You heard earlier that we're getting some audio-visual upgrades at the Maidu Community Center and Riley meeting rooms to help enhance those rental experiences. And we've included some application expenses for our department to begin the national accreditation process. To support community engagement, we'll be enlisting a consultant to assist us with a much-needed marketing and public relations plan. This plan was also a recommendation of the Strategic Master Plan, and it is also a requirement for our agency to be accredited. To invest in well-planned infrastructure and growth, we've added funds for the maintenance of our new parks, which will include Apollo Dog Park, Denio Family Park, and the courts at Gibson Park, which will open. Apollo's already open. Denio and the courts at Gibson Park will open in FY24. So we did get some additional funding to help maintain those. And also funds to continue taking care of our aging parks. We know how important that is. And these park amenity replacement funds will help replace our aging small park amenities, such as benches, picnic tables, drinking fountains, shade structures, and so on. We've done a thorough asset inventory this past year to help prioritize those replacements. And lastly, to enhance economic vitality, we have various arts programs and projects in the budget, including more public art, as I mentioned, downtown at Vets North, and you did approve and saw that piece that is going to be going out at Vets North later this year, and some public art at the soccer complex as well. And we also have some increased partnership support for Blue Line Arts and Performing Arts of Roseville. So in conclusion, I know I say it all the time, but I really do believe it, that parks make life better, and our residents believe it too. You might recall that we learned through the Strategic Master Plan in our public engagement that our residents appreciate our services. and they just want us to provide more, as you heard from the other staff that were up here tonight. 88% of our residents agree that PRL improves their physical health and wellness, and 87% agree that PRL improves their mental health. And 89% of our residents agree that PRL makes Roseville a more desirable place to live. We're proud to once again be a National Gold Medal finalist, one of the top 4 park and recreation agencies in the nation that serve communities with populations between 150,000 and 400,000. And lastly, we were pleased to present to council and to share with you tonight a responsible fiscal year 24 budget that allows us to continue providing the valuable parks, recreation, and library services that our residents love so much and that improve the quality of life in Roseville. And we know that none of this work would be possible without our great staff, our city leadership, and without your support. So on behalf of all the Parks, Recreation, and Library staff, thank you very much, and I'll stand for any questions you might have.
I guess I'll start. I have 2 questions. Water features, I saw that there's already some that either aren't opening up or are, I don't know, there was a whole thing on Facebook going back and forth about the water features. That was one. The second is I've been concerned about the fields, like Diamond Oaks, for example, where my kids have, their t-ball games. That's not the best spot for 5- and 6-year-olds to be playing out, long games because the play structure isn't open. There's no restroom, which is impossible with 5- and 6-year-olds playing t-ball out there. So, just kind of what's going on with the parks that need a little bit of a facelift, a little more TLC, and how is that all coming together?
Well, thank you for that question. I'll try to answer the water features question first. We do have the water features open at Vernon Street Town Square, at Harry Crabb Park. Mike Shelateau Indoor Pool, as you know, is closed for 90 days while we're replastering that pool. But we have a new water feature at the RAC, at the Roseville Aquatics Complex as well. The water feature at Nella Lucan is currently not operational, and we are working on that right now. It's surprising how complex some of these water features are. They have computer boards and everything to make them work, and we do run into some delays in getting equipment and stuff, so I apologize for that. But we are aware that that's a desired amenity, and staff are working on getting the parts for that. Regarding fields, we definitely have a field shortage in this community. And so I will take your comments to heart. The Diamond Oaks play structure will soon be open. Again, that's a piece that we've been waiting on for a very long time, but I was informed it is supposed to be here within the next couple weeks, so you can look forward to that opening. Because of the demand for fields, we are utilizing fields in neighborhood parks, and as you know, our practice is not to install restrooms in neighborhood parks because they are designed for maybe a 1-hour visit for neighbors to walk to, but when we do have to program our sports programs there, I understand the challenge that makes. So I will share that with staff and see if we can find some different parks to program those type of activities at.
And parking.
And parking, yeah. I mean, our neighborhood parks aren't designed for these long stays. They're designed for the neighbors to walk to the park for a 1 to 2 hour stay. And then they can walk home and use the restroom.
Yeah, I got a question. You had mentioned, I think you had mentioned beefing up security, and was that in relation to downtown Roseville, or was that somewhere else?
The downtown library. We do have security on site at the downtown library all of the time, and so we've increased our hours of operation at the downtown library, and therefore we had to increase our security budget there as well.
Oh, just for that library?
Just for that library.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that as a result of homeless encampments?
That's part of it, yeah. We've had security at the downtown library for years, so that's nothing new. The increased budget is just due to the increased open hours.
Well, I work on the other side of Caseburg Park, and I live in the neighborhood of Caseburg Park. We get homeless people. We had one this morning, cops had to come and EMT. But I want to say Caseburg Park, since I'm up there literally every day with my little dogs walking, they do a fabulous job. It's very well maintained. It gets a little stinky when games are going and, parking, as they were saying, but that park is, and I see them mow every Friday out my window, but it's very well maintained.
Thank you.
I have a question. So you talked about shifting from part-time to full-time parks maintenance workers. Are there still the volunteer cleanups? Because I heard something about that.
Yeah, we still have our PRL ambassador program where we have park cleanups, creek cleanups, opportunities several times per year, and we put those out on social media for people to sign up. We also have a lot of special user groups that contact us for a project, like Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, and so we do a lot of projects with those focus groups as well, but we do have projects for the residents at large to volunteer for. And
Actually,
I might just...
There's one this Saturday for West Roseville. There's the neighborhood cleanup.
Oh.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm just going to address your comment about shifting from part-time to full-time staff as well, because we've thought long and hard about that. Because obviously we can employ more people, more bodies part-time than we can full-time with the same amount of dollars. But because we were running into so many problems of one, finding them, and then we take them through the hiring process, and then we train them, and then we've employed them for a couple months, and they leave because they find something full-time elsewhere. So we stopped and thought, is it better to have people than to not have people? So we're reducing the number of staff that we would have because they're full-time and not part-time, but at least we're going to have the bodies. And we started doing that a little bit last year, and it has proved very successful for us.
Other commissioner comments, questions?
So you've already started the process of acquiring full-time personnel?
That will start, this budget does not take effect until July 1, so we will start after that time. We will still have lots of part-time positions available. We're not eliminating all of our part-time positions. It's just a select few to help fund these full-time. And also to alleviate the to alleviate the burden on the general fund. We don't want to go and ask for new dollars every year, so we're creative with the dollars that we have.
And the soccer complex, I think that's this week, isn't it?
It is. That was going to be in my other comments when we're done with this item.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll open that agenda item up for public comment first.
Hi, my name's JC Thompson. I'm an East Roseville resident. That was a really interesting presentation. Really appreciate that. I wanted to connect a couple dots and just maybe plant a seed, and that is your PR contract that you mentioned, and then along with the new dog park that's opening. One of the areas that we have a lot in my neighborhood is unleashed dogs at parks that aren't dog parks. They're all over the place, and to the point where, you have to walk your dog somewhere else because there's too many unleashed dogs. And so just, somehow those two things linked together when you mentioned it in my mind, wow, maybe part of the PR could be go use the dog park that's new and exciting for the dogs. But anyway, I just know it's a really big problem, like at Maidu in particular, and the neighborhood parks that are around there. So thank you.
Okay. Anybody else for public comment? All right, public comment is closed. And Jill, do you say you had another item? 6 point.
Just part of my staff report.
Yeah, just your staff report, okay. Okay, Director Geller,
Are you
would you
ready?
like to give us the staff report?
So I just have a few things. I mentioned the City of Roseville strategic plan that you have in front of you. You also have a budget in brief, and this is the citywide budget, just a very well put together pamphlet by our finance department that gives you the overview of the city's budget in brief. So I wanted you to have that as well. Yes, the soccer complex groundbreaking is this Thursday. You all have one of these at your chair as well, so I hope you'll be able to join us. This is a pretty big deal. And it's 10 a.m. on Thursday. It will be just on the property, so it's bumpy. So that's why it says to wear appropriate attire, avoid heels or sandals when you come there. But it'll be a great event, and I hope to see you all there. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention the July meeting. We will likely have a meeting in July, but the scheduled date for our meeting is July 3rd. If we had it the first Monday, and I don't know how many of you might be out of town at that time or taking an extended weekend. So if we should look at changing the date for that meeting and just kind of getting a sense from the group what would work.
I will probably be gone that time because we get the 3rd and the 4th off, so we'll be utilizing those for to be out of town.
Well, the city's probably closed on the 4th, too.
Yes, the
Yeah.
city's closed on the 4th, yes. Can we do a different meeting date in July if we post it? We
You know,
could,
perhaps if I can make a suggestion that we bump the meeting to the following Monday.
to the 10th.
Yeah.
We will look to do that.
I don't know for sure, but I thought in prior years, we might have even just skipped the July meeting entirely if there was a lack of material to go over, but I'm assuming you're still talking about it because we have enough to discuss in July, right?
Yes, I think we'll have an action item from the Youth Sports Coalition that we'll want to address in July. Otherwise, I would agree, Mike, that we could skip the meeting. And it may be that that doesn't come to fruition, but in case we do need to have a meeting in July, I just wanted to get a sense on what date might work best.
Should we have a motion, like a vote on that to move it, or do I?
Right now, we just want to poll everyone to see where everyone's at. And then on our end, we can check to see if there's availability to move the meeting.
I'm open, so it's 3rd or the 10th is fine.
Well, like I said, I suggest we move it to the 10th. If we need a meeting, we hold it on the 10th. If not, we continue it to August.
Okay, and we'll look on our end to make sure that we can facilitate it on that date, and we'll be in touch. That's all I have.
Okay. I guess none of the commissioners have
Yeah,
met?
I was wondering, since I came here a little late, I was wondering if I could get a copy of the strategic plan and the budget in brief.
I had a question that didn't necessarily relate to the budget, but just out of curiosity on the streetscape irrigation, how often are they checking the sprinklers? Because I'm usually taking my dog for a walk in the evenings, and that's when it's flooded and sprinklers are shooting up in the air, and it's just an ongoing thing every year, and I email them in and those types of things. But is there a schedule where they're looking at where they're testing them out to look for those?
Isn't it the responsibility of the commissioners to fix it if he sees a broken sprinkler?
That.
Yeah, just fix it.
They are checking them. As I mentioned, we've got 300 acres of streetscapes
Right.
that we keep an eye on, and even if we check it, doesn't mean it's not going to
Right.
go bad. So we really do count on the residents to let us know about that when we don't see it. And I can certainly provide you the email or phone number to call when you see those things, if that would help.
Probably provide you with a tool belt if you'd like.
I don't, just my walk around Washington and then back around Roseville Parkway is,
Yeah.
there's quite a few that are. And I realize we're not necessarily, we had a good winter this time, but it's tough to tell your residents to cut back on water when you've got the public irrigation spraying all over the place.
Absolutely agree. I agree. So we appreciate you notifying us, but we do have people inspecting it regularly as well.
I was just going to add, I'm not trying to change the meeting date, but I will not be available on July 10th. Not to say that it still can't happen, but I'm one so far that can't make it.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? And I'll open this up to public comment now. And we'll close for public comment. Thank you, Director Geller. And does anybody else have anything to add before?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right. Motion passes.
Vote.
Oh, it's
Take
a
it-
vote, sorry.
take a vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Have a great night, everybody.
Everybody
Thanks for
wanna stay
coming.
here till midnight?
Thank you all.
Your wife.